given what they want, not what they expect, I could say some big news. I have some fight news coming soon, and it's very big news. And I can't deny or confirm what you just said,
I beat a lot of legends from your country, my friend. I know you'd love to avenge the boys, but boy, would you be a good one to add to my list. Be careful what you wish for. Trauma.
The OGs in the sport have spoken, my people. And I want to start it off like this. Jon Jones threatening, giving a warning to Alex Poatan Pereira, the reigning light heavyweight champion of the world with a record of 13-3, 10-2 in the UFC. Has only lost 2 times. 1 time to Israel Adesanya, as the fight just before that became the middleweight champion of the world. Lost that fight, decided that, you know what, I'm moving up to the light heavyweight division. And only lost 1 time 2 fights ago against Magomed Ankalaev. But at UFC 320, just came back and obliterated him. Embarrassed him. After all the crap talking that was going down leading up to that fight. Could Alex Poatan Pereira have a chance in beating the GOAT, some people call him the greatest of all time, Jon Jones, with a record of 28-1? If you want to consider that one loss a real loss, go ahead. But the rules have changed since then. Downward elbows are now legal in the UFC. So technically, that's not a real loss. Dude should be 29-0. Having defended the light heavyweight title 12 to 13 times, moved up to the heavyweight division, and has taken over, coming off back-to-back wins over Ciryl Gane and Stipe Miocic. Some people said Stipe Miocic is one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. Honestly, he was coming off a 3-year retirement, being a fireman. It's not the real Stipe Miocic, but Jon Jones went in there and spinning heel kick him to the stomach. Boom! Dropped him, KO'd him. Alex Poatan Pereira has been just one of the most iconic fighters in his era so far in the UFC. Jon Jones is one of the most iconic fighters, if not the most iconic fighter in UFC history. Jon Jones threatens him, gives him a warning. You want to come up to our division? I don't think Alex Poatan Pereira can beat Jon Jones. Yes, if it is a striking fight, Alex Poatan Pereira has got a chance, got more than a chance. It's a 50-50 fight if this is going to be a striking battle between him and Jon Jones. But if Jon Jones is able to wrap his hands around those legs, take him down, and hold him down, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Jon Jones would once again reign in supremacy, letting everybody know why he is the greatest of all time. But I would absolutely love to see that. I don't know why Dana White isn't making this fight happen at the UFC White House card. You know, we know all the scheduled events all the way until April. Just announce it already. Put Jon Jones on that card. Now, speaking of the UFC White House card, George Masvidal. Yup. Gamebred George Masvidal, the king of Miami. If you guys don't remember him from his old school days, he's an OG, man. This guy was fighting on those backyard street fights with Kimbo Slice back in the days. Was a hard man. Now, over the years, you know, he's had a lot of controversy in the UFC. One of the most iconic fighters at the end of the day. I mean, we can't forget about his knockout over Ben Askren, one of the fastest knockouts in UFC history, right? Just beep, 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 right up to him. Boom! Flying knee, knocks out Ben Askren. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, this is a man who did become the BMF world champion, competed for a world title, never won, had a lot of controversy with Kobe Covington, you know, jumped him at the bar, everything that was going down with that, once friends to foes, and hasn't fought in the UFC for quite a while. We know George Masvidal outside the UFC started his own MMA thing, and recently he's been doing a lot of interviews saying he's coming back. He says that it's not for sure, I can't tell you yes or no if I'm going to be facing Conor McGregor at the UFC White House card, but I can't tell you no. Now, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, I don't think George Masvidal is going to be facing Conor McGregor at the UFC White House card. Now, if they did, my goodness, how amazing, and how crazy of a fight would that be? I know George Masvidal is on a 5-fight losing streak, if you want to consider that boxing fight against Nate Diaz in 2024 a loss. He's on a 4-fight losing streak in the UFC. And over the years, Conor McGregor at the same time hasn't been the same person. We haven't seen him in the octagon since when? 2021? So this would be an absolutely exciting fight. And I know the UFC world would absolutely love, but I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening, dude. I think George Masvidal is going to end up fighting somebody else. I do think he's going to be on the UFC warehouse card. Gamebred will be on that card. But I just don't see him facing somebody like Conor McGregor. Now, if that were to happen, my goodness, that has to be the goddamn main event. And if it's the co-main event behind Jon Jones, we don't know if Jon Jones is, entirely going to be on this UFC White House card. We've heard Dana White talk about it before, that he can't trust them. But at the end of the day, I honestly think it's happening. So, interesting things going down in the world of UFC, especially with the OGs. We got a couple UFC heavyweight. You got Talison Teixeira, who's taking on Tai Tuivasa, and Villia, who's coming out of the Tom Aspinall camp off of a knockout loss to Waldo Cortez. And, arguably controversial. You had Ante kind of bombing on him while Waldo was against the fence. Accidentally eye pokes him. They stop the fight. They continue it. Waldo Cortez comes out. 1-2, boom! Drops Ante. And a star is born with Salsa Boy. But Ante Delia, in my opinion, finally got to fight that he might be able to win. It's going to be a good one. But he's facing Sergey Spivak. And not just that, but Volter Walker, the heel hook king, who, if he gets your leg, if he gets his hands around your ankle, it's over. 4 heel hooks in a row. Volter Walker has a fight scheduled against who? Marcin Tybura. Yes, you guys, the heavyweight division is starting to get rolling. And I know some of these fighters aren't the most exciting, but at the end of the day, at least things are moving. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. This is the MMA Boxing Addict channel reporting to you some breaking news from the OG, some breaking news from the heavyweights, and I'm